Please welcome Officer Chris Engelhardt. Chris?
3 A's of safety. Number one, we've all heard this a million times, be aware of your surroundings. Gosh, yes, officer, I've heard that, absolutely. But I promise I'll keep the stories short, because I've got a lot of stories, a lot of cop stories. I don't know if y'all would be interested in that kind of blood and gore and all that other silly stuff, but I've got some stories that kind of bring home some things. Being aware. Each and every day I put on that blue polyester, will soon be black polyester. I don't know if y'all knew that, but we're going from our blue to our black colors. When I put that uniform on, I put a target each and every day. I understand that. It's part of my job. Something I have to do, something I have to be mindful of. So do I need to be aware of my surroundings? You betcha. I need to be so extra careful. And when I talk to folks, I say, it doesn't matter if you're a cop, if you're a teacher, if you're an engineer, whatever it is. And these days and times, everyone in this story, in this room could probably tell me a story. Somebody they know, they went to the grocery store, they went here, they went there, whatever. Something happened or something suspicious that really got them spooked about something that could happen to you just at a drop of a dime. Everyone could tell us something. And I want you to think about that. Yeah, pay attention. I'm not here to preach paranoia. I could bring up a whole litany of stats, and I can say, okay, guys, this is what happened over the last year. We had 300 some odd murders, we had 1,000 robberies, we had this, and this, and this, and this. Ugh. Doesn't sound nice. Doesn't sound good. No one likes to talk about that stuff. Okay. I'm not here to preach the bad news. Let's just pay attention. Take that extra second. We get so caught up in everything we do, the tunnel vision. I asked this question in this room. Do we all live in this area? Pretty much? Kind of, sort of? Yeah, okay. Houston area. All right. Do we work here? Okay. Do you remember how you got to work this morning? Kind of, sort of. Because you get on the road and you take the same route every day, don't you? You sure do. Can you remember the cars, some of the cars that passed you and some of the things and some of the billboards and all this? Most of us, yeah, kind of. I saw it, but it didn't soak in. Take that extra second. Take that extra second. Pay attention to those things. Be aware. That's my first A. Second A is acknowledge. What do I mean by that? We all have that gut instinct within us. Any of you ever walked into, I call them stop and robs, the old stop and go type of stores? Maybe you, or it could be anywhere, and you felt funny. I don't know a better way to put it. I felt funny. Something did not feel right. That's your insides, that old sixth sense. That's going, hey, little antennas wiggling. Be careful. Pay attention. I don't want you to get hurt. Acknowledge that. I can't tell you as a police officer, me going to a scene of a crime and I'm talking to the victim. And they're telling me, you're not a victim today, you're good. But you're my actor. And they're telling me, yeah, something told me when I walked in there, or something just told me I shouldn't have parked over there. And I want to reach over and I want to go, but I can't do that, of course. And politely I said, well, next time listen to your insides. They're telling you something. Again, if anybody's ever been in the armed forces or served actively, I'm sure that's something that you highly, you listen to. You listen to your guts. I am not, not going to do that, not going to do that, I'm going to do that. You pay attention to that stuff, it can save your life one day. So acknowledge your guts, okay? Leads me to the third point, the third A. Act or avoid a situation. It's actually two, but we'll put it into one. How about act? Okay? I want to act. What do I mean by that? Well, again, when I'm talking to that person, I said, I should have just did this, or I should have did this. Yes, you should have. How many of you in this room have ever felt like you've been followed by somebody? Yeah, a percentage of you have. What did you do? I'm not putting anybody on the spot, but anybody can jump out. What did you do? They take 3 left turns and see if they continue to follow you? What if I'm out, I'm pulling in my neighborhood and I feel like somebody's following me? Well, it's 7 o'clock, Dancing with the Stars comes on. I'm sorry, officer, but I got to get to my driveway so they know where I live. But take that extra second. We all know we were preached about, we all know where the police stations are, the fire departments. you know, in our areas, don't we? If we don't, we should know where their physical location is. Just a well-lit place, especially now that it gets dark, what, at 5:30? Oh my gosh, you know, we get home and it's dark. So, you know, you think you're being followed, what do you do?
I don't go to a Walmart.
That's a good one, yeah. But we want to act or avoid a situation. Do something. Anything. Do something. That's what I'm here to preach. I want you to do something. Again, whether it be make the block, still follow me. Call 911. That is okay. Cars following me. Please come. Help. Do what it takes. Do something. Act or avoid a situation. So what were my A's? Aware, acknowledge, and act. We, you know, like I said, we hadn't copyrighted it, so please use it. So, okay, a couple other things I'm going to jump off and on my soapbox. Some things here, pet peeves, things I see. Some things we need to be mindful of at work, wherever we may be and go. All right, let's start with our vehicle. We probably spend more time in our vehicles, whether it be, you know, lunch, back and forth, home, that kind of stuff. Out and out, we got kids got practice, they've got this going on, whatever it may be. You know, we're in our vehicles. We are in a 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 pound, depending on what do you drive, weapon. And I'm sure, again, all of you in this room could tell me a story about how some folks have used that weapon, you know, or are in the process of using that, and it really ticks you off. All right, things to be mindful of. I'm here in Houston. Bear with me. Follow me. I'm coming to an intersection, driving my car. There's a car in front of me stopped at the red light. I stop. How far do I stop behind that vehicle?
One car length.
I like that. How about the bumper? Can you see the bumper? And I always get, officer, I can't do that because just as soon as I give them that car length or whatever, guess what? Somebody's going to swoop right in there. And I go, I understand. I understand. I want you to give yourself an out. If something does happen, I pull up and I'm sitting here, listening to the radio, just not paying attention, wanting to go to get on the freeway or wherever it may be, and then all of a sudden, somebody comes up to your window. Which I'm sure they probably have. You see maybe some of the window washers or maybe the vagrants or panhandlers, they'll come up and it scares the, you know what, out of you probably. Doesn't it? Whoa! What can you imagine if that person came up and actually had a gun? What would you do? Not a lot of options. If I'm sitting right on the bumper of the car in front of me, what am I going to do?
Nothing.
Here, I can take it, you know, I don't know what else to do. You leave yourself no out. Give yourself some options. You know, most of the time, these folks, a vast majority of the time, they're not there to hurt you. They're not there to shoot you or do anything like that. They just want your stuff. And sometimes just that quick hit on the gas pedal, give yourself some distance, is all it takes. Most of the time. That's in our car. You know, we all know the normal things. You know, oh gosh, you know, the seat belts and everything else. We're on our cell phones all the time. You know, just be mindful, especially when we pull into an area where I'm going to be in my vehicle and there's the potential for somebody to come up to me. I could be in a parking lot. How many of you have had this happen to you? I'm walking out of our Walmart and I'm pushing my little buggy and I'm coming up to my car and out of nowhere, somebody is right beside me and says, hey, man, you got $5? I ran out of, I'm not from town, I'm over here, and I see smiles. You've had that happen, haven't you? We've all had that happen. Is it real? Is it live? Is it Memorex? Is it fake? What is it? All right, I'll stake my reputation as a police officer that 99.9% of every one of those are fake. You betcha. You know, and they pull at your heartstring. I've got 3 kids, oh my God, just $5. You know, did you get some gas? It's like, well, $5 will get you how much these days? Not a lot. But still, you know, the point I'm trying to make is that these folks surprise you. We need to pay attention. You know, they'll come up, we've had many a number of robberies. Folks in parking lots, just like this. Just, you know, I'm getting my keys, ladies reaching in a purse, whatever it may be, and it just takes just that little bit. You're not paying attention, and somebody is on you. They're right there, you know, right beside you, and then all of a sudden, just the most uncomfortable feeling in the world comes on you. Am I right? It happens all the time, folks. You know, and of course the scam is, I'm going to pull at your heartstrings. You know, there's something there. You know, I need money for a room, for gas, whatever it may be. You know, my answer is, I tell you what, I'm going to call somebody over here to come help you. Not necessarily the police, but it's like, I've got all kind of numbers, of course, and what I have, I said, there's a social agency that might help you. Can I call them? I mean, at the end of the day, they might have, you know, free room, get you some food. Would you like me to give them a call? Off they go. But it's what you wanted, right? No. They wanted your stuff. They wanted cash. They wanted, you know, a quick thing, because it's a scam. Don't give money to those folks. Don't do that. I'm sure we all have charities, things out there that we'd love to give our money to, and do that. You know, if these folks truly want help, if they want off the street, if they want a warm meal in their stomach and a place to sleep tonight, there's a place that will give that to them. If they want it. But they don't, because they got to follow the rules, and they can't do the drugs, and they can't be alcoholics, and they can't do all this other stuff. And I know I'm preaching, but forgive me. That's near and dear, and I see that so much, and I get asked that question all the time. So, anyway, talking about our cars, anything specifically that you guys may have seen or have issues with? I think we pretty much understand, you know, our vehicle and the, you know, first aid kits and keeping air in the tires and gas in the tank and all this stuff is important. That's all great. But when it comes to the crime aspect, you know, I guess in a nutshell, what I want you folks to do is just give yourself an out. Give yourself some space if you're driving. Don't box yourself in. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make with your vehicle.
I got a question about, what about when you've got a problem and you pull to the side of the road? Where should you be? What should you do?
What should you do? That's a good one. And again, I would probably come back and I'd ask a few more questions like, okay, where are we? Are we in the city? You know, all of us know that if we're you know, for any number, I don't know what the length of now, they've changed it, but if we are stalled on a freeway, you know, there will be a tow truck that will come and pick you up before you know it in the city. Outside, those kind of things we need to be mindful of. It's daytime, nighttime, different things. I always tell folks, if you are ever in that position where my cell phone is dead, I am in the middle of nowhere, I am broke down, and I'm just waiting just for, hopefully, a police officer or somebody to come by to help me. You know, those just, oh crap, type of situations. What do I do? The best thing you can do is stay in your car. If somebody comes up and approaches, let me use this guy again here, this gentleman, approaches and comes up, you know, our first reaction is to, look at me, I wear my mom old school, rolling down the window, right? It's hitting the button, you know, but, you know, rolling down the window and then pleading the case to a totally, you know, somebody you've never seen before, some stranger. What's wrong? Maybe cracking the window just a bit if you had to. And they say, I need help. Do you have a cell phone? First thing. You know, can you call somebody for me? And if I'm a good person, absolutely. Give me the number. I've got Sue here, I've got Bill here in the car, they need help. They're in the, you know, 14,700 block of whatever, you know. They need help. They're broken down, don't have a means of getting, can you help them? Or whatever it may be. I would always ask, can you call somebody for me? You know, because again, if I roll down the window to reach, to grab a cell phone or something, then I'm putting myself out there. You know, unless you're some 8th degree of something, black belt, you know, something or another, then go for it. But, you know, I want to keep you guys safe. Stay in your vehicle. Somebody eventually, like I said, if you are in the city, I guarantee a wrecker will be by before you know it. I'd probably check on that because they're going to want that tow because it's money. But, you know, with the safe clear and everything else that we've got going on. But outside, regardless, you know, if we can. If we can't, I'm not understanding, again, you know what, everybody in this room, I remember not too many years ago when cell phones were these big, huge bricks, and all the big bosses had them, and they thought that was the coolest thing, you know, and then we had these, you know, little bag phones and what have you, but we've come a long way, you know, to where cell phones now are just literally, you know, we're doing everything on our phones. All right, take that, let's jump over to our homes, where hopefully, other than work, where we spend most of our time. What are we going to do? What, you know, to secure our home? The simplest, easiest ways. Of course, most of you will have questions about alarm systems. We'll talk about that. know, whoa, what's the lock these days, officer, that I need to buy? Talk about that, ways to secure your windows, this kind of stuff. Give me a few minutes to talk about that, kind of give you a little overview of what you need to do. All right, alarm systems. How many of you have alarm systems in your home? You probably pay 30, 35, 40 bucks a month to have it monitored. Am I right? Thereabouts, probably some more, a little less, thereabouts, give or take? Okay. For somebody sitting in Boulder, Colorado, in front of a big keyboard, and a light pops off or comes on or something when your alarm is activated, so they go, okay, okay, all right, flip, call this number, Houston Police, I've got an alarm call, such and such, blah, 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 this address, send somebody out. And that's the way it works. Excuse me, that's what you're paying for. That's great. Let me tell you some statistical stuff with the city of Houston. In an average year, do you know how many alarm calls that the police department will go to? Anybody have a guess? In the city, not the county, just the city. Come on, throw me. Oh, come on, be real. Come on. You know, let's try about 180,000 calls in a year. Oh my gosh. And out of that 180,000 calls, do you know how many calls? I didn't run them all personally, but do you know how many of them that police officers go to and find out it's the wind, it's the cat, it's the dog, it's the neighbor's kid, it's something, it's a false alarm. What is the percentage, would you have a guess to see?
95.
Oh, come on. 99% false. Oh my gosh.
Well, I also heard that there's so many false alarms, you have to pay a penalty.
Yes, in the city you do. Yeah, of course, the city's gonna take your money to get a permit for that thing. Police officer comes out, everything's on record. After 3 false alarms, they're gonna send you a bill. Yeah, you betcha. You know, and they'll start charging you for those things. So, my thing is that, don't throw that alarm out, don't take it out, don't do anything. I wanna make sure that alarm system has a nice audible siren.
Really loud.
By God, really loud, thank you. When it goes off, I want my neighbor to come outside and say, man, what's going on at Bob's house? That's what I want, okay? And if they see a strange U-Haul truck parked up at the front door or an odd vehicle, they're gonna go, ooh, 911. There's an odd vehicle over here at Bob's house. He's at work right now. What's going on? And his alarm is going crazy. Whew. You're gonna get the police out there pretty quick. That's what I want to happen. So you got an alarm system? Make it loud and proud. Make sure when it goes off, my neighbors can hear it, okay? Make sure it's good, it's installed properly, because you don't want it going off all the time with every little front or every little, you know, booming music or whatever it goes on and sets it off. We don't want that. Your neighbors will get a little ticked at you, but I want to have a good, loud, audible system. So when it does go off, my neighbors will help me out. Okay, that's my 2 cents on alarms. All right, let's move to our doors. Let's talk about door locks, window locks, that kind of stuff. You guys follow me, because I think this is about the only door that you can probably see. All right, picture this as your front door. I know some of us have the big ornate glass doors. We'll talk about that. We typically, because of commercial buildings, we have to have the push bars for emergency. I understand all that. We don't have this at home. All right, officer, what kind of lock should I have? I know I've seen out there it costs $500 and there's like only one key known to man, blah, 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 blah. You don't need that. We don't need that nonsense, okay? All you need is just a good, you know, just a simple deadbolt that's, you know, nothing fancy, nothing huge. You can get them at Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, all those guys. You know, just a simple deadbolt. Simple deadbolt. Where is the security in my lock? All right, I'm not leaving, but follow me here. The security, well, this one doesn't have it, but right here, at one point, there was a little strike plate here where the bolt would go into. You know, it's got the little rectangle hole held in there by 2 screws. 2 little screws hold that. That right there is the security of your lock. That's it. Standard installation for the last 35, 40 years in homes being built here. 3/4 inch screws. Hold that strike plate in. That's it. That's all there is. 3/4 inch screw. That is my security. Think about this. I'm a pretty healthy guy. I like to say healthy. I'm a big boy. If I just put my weight into this door right here, you know, it's going to take that bolt and just blow it right through. It is so easy. the smallest, most petite person in this room could do that. Because we're talking about those two little screws that are this long. So what do? Next time I'm down there, I know you're engineers. You guys are way ahead of me. I know you're thinking, all right, officer, I know what you're talking about here. I'm going to take those little bitty short screws out and I'm going to replace them with some good old long 3 or 4 inch wood screws. And I'm going to put those in there because my safety, my security is right here. These 2x4 studs, all this running up and down here in this frame. I'm going to put those screws in there and going to latch onto it. So when that bad guy comes up and tries to kick in your door, he's going to go, ooh, these folks went to that class and heard that guy talk. Absolutely. You know, that right there is your safety. Don't worry about spending $1 million on locks, all that other nonsense. Use what you got. Take you a couple screws, put them in there, and it will, I can't give you the number, but it's amazing how much security you're going to have. So the next point I'm getting to is, what do we do about our windows? You know, most of these windows, okay, this isn't safety glass. You know, when you break these windows, it splinters and it'll cut you. That's why they don't necessarily like going through windows. You know, who wants to get cut? Well, what can I do? Well, we can slow them down. We can't stop them from going through a window if they want to. If they want to break the whole thing out, you know, not too big a deal. What I want to do is I'm going to slow them down. So the next time, when you're buying those long screws for your locks, there's a little thing that's called a C-clamp or a U-clamp. You know, it's going to look like a little Allen nut, or it may have actually a little thumb screw on one end. And conventional window, I'm standing here. They open it up. Usually it's got 2 we call crescent locks at the top. You know, you turn them, open your window up. There's the break in my window. You know, I open it up. Okay, great. Well, lower the window down, and right here, where they're sliding against each other, I'll put a clamp in the groove there. Put that little, you know, the little clamp, tighten it down. Yeah, the guy can see it from the outside. I can see it, it's there. But, you know, you try to lift the window, and it's going to stop right there at that clamp, your window. Great. What am I doing? I'm buying time. I'm going to slow him down because now he's got to defeat that clamp before he can get in. So that's all I'm doing, buying time. If I have 2 identical Chevy trucks sitting in this parking lot right now, identical, nothing else on them except one of them has a little bitty blinking light in the dash, and I'm Joe Thug, come walking by and I want to break into your car, I will lay money on the fact that they're going to look and go, I perceive less of a threat with this vehicle right here that doesn't have that little blinking light. It's the same thing. I see that window, you know, and I go, oh, crap. That's going to slow me down, you know, because my goal is to get in and get out as fast as I can. You guys know the difference between a burglary and a home invasion? Home invasion is what we see on TV. That's where they're breaking in your home. And then, oh, crap. You know, something's going to happen. Usually not pleasant. It's not a common thing, but, you know, again, these are things that make the news. Burglary is they're making sure you're not at home. They go and take care of business and they get out as fast as they can. So we want to make sure, again, that, you know, we're trying to make it, not make it an easy target. Not make it a quick target. You know, if their mindset is to do a burglary, they want to get in and get it out just as fast as they can, a home burglary. So, okay. One last thing as far as homes, because I know I don't have a lot of time. How many of you have those sliding glass doors, those patio doors? Ooh, how do you secure those bad boys? Well, let me tell you this. Let me ask you this, one step past that. How do you install those things? Let me tell you what they do. They've got this big old piece of glass, these 2 doors, and they've got it all framed out, and they'll come to it and they'll go, all right, let me set it in the track here, kind of put it just right, lift up, set it in. Okay. That's it. It's in. Because there's a track, and it floats in the track. And you've got to have a little space or a little gap for it to move around. And so how do you remove them? Very simply, I will lift up on the door, and it will just fall out. Okay? Some are heavier, so I'm not telling you to go home and practice this. You know, mess your doors up. But what they'll do is they'll come. And those of you that have the sliding glass doors, I will bet you that you probably have a little bar that goes across it, or a sawed-off broomstick or something in the track. Am I right? Absolutely. You betcha. What does that do? Come on, engineers. Keeps on the door from going left to right. Right? Does nothing for up and down. Nothing for up and down. So they'll come over there, they'll take that same crowbar, stick it under there, step on it, door pops up, push it in. Now I'm after the big stuff. Now I've got a big hole, here goes the big screen, here goes this, here goes everything. You know, if I got room, I'll put the refrigerator on here. You know, so, oh God, what do I do with those doors? You know, those sliding glass doors. Okay. When I'm getting the screws and the clamps, there's another thing you need to get. Remember, we've got space, and we want to take the space out. I'm going to slide that door open. And I'm going to stand right dead center, and I'm going to look up at that track, right above me, right there. Okay. It's going to take me a little screwdriver or probably a drill to do this. But I'm going to get me another one of those long screws, and I'm going to screw it up into the center of that track, where the head is sticking down in that track. I'm going to have to play with this a little bit. Well, I don't want this screw, maybe start off at a 1/2 inch or so. Leave it exposed. Okay, it's about 1/2 inch. We'll take the door. Let's see if the door will close. Follow me here where I'm going with this? Yeah. So it's sticking out, and I want it just enough. You'll never see it. But when the door closes, just to barely miss the head of that screw. Oh my gosh, what have I done? He goes to try to lift up on the door. It ain't going nowhere. That one little screw. Isn't that cool? You know, so I just saved you $10,000 contractor. I'll give you my address. Very, very simple. Simple stuff. That's what those doors. All right. Anything else dealing with your home? I know we could talk about with the holidays and a bunch of stuff, but that's another topic. Yes?
I just wanted to add one thing for home. About 6 or 7 years ago, my husband and I's cars were broken into 2 separate nights. And no glass was shattered, no nothing. We definitely didn't leave them unlocked because they locked automatically. Mm-hmm. And the police officer that came out on the second time said he had been doing investigations on these, that when you lock and unlock from far away, when you have the automatic remotes, that there's something they can use to intercept the codes now. And that's what was going on in our neighborhood. That they were basically just unlocking our car because they'd intercepted our codes when we were far from them. So he said to prevent that, to lock and unlock with the automatic remotes closer to your vehicle, because there's that technology now.
Yes.
I have a question along those lines.
Yeah.
Those, the chip readers that people have for your credit cards, that they can read right through your wallets.
Yeah.
How effective are those wallets that prevent that?
You know, like the aluminum cases or whatever that may be?
Well, I have one. It's not aluminum, but it's
some kind of steel
supposedly some kind of a...
They've got me twice on that.
They've gotten you twice on that? Using the wallet, though, too?
No.
Oh.
But Target and Walmart.
Yeah, I know. I've heard good things about it. You know, in fact, when I go talk to groups of maybe elderly or nursing homes and they're wanting to protect, you know, that kind of stuff, you'll see in the crowd, they'll all pull out all these little tin can looking little things and have nothing but good advice.
That's it. It's supposed to be some kind of magnetic blocker.
Absolutely. I've heard good stuff right now. Now, it's like everything else. You know, just as long, you know, we start to defeat something and then somebody comes along and does something to change that. But right now, I haven't heard anything negative. I've heard, you know, pretty good thoughts with that. So there might be something, you know, passed around for now, you know, until that gets compromised.
One very quick thing. There was a significant crime very close to our office yesterday.
Okay.
Happened in the hours of the morning. Is there any way, anywhere that we can go besides the media to get information about crimes that have occurred?
Yes.
Like recent, you know.
Yeah.
Like this one
You want to find out what's going on in your neighborhood or somebody else's neighborhood? Yeah, you betcha. Real good, folks. And that'd be a good point to finish up with. Is that right now you want to find out what's going on if you live in the city. The county has their own version of this. If you Google up the Houston Police Department, they've got a link. It'll say crime statistics. You can click on that. It's an interactive map. A couple of different links on there. One of them will be a 30-day window. Very, for the city, I have to give them credit because normally you don't see things that are actually 21st century. But very cool website. You can actually click. You give it parameters. Let's say I want to search. I want to see all the murders in a certain area, or I want to see all the burglaries, and you tell it that. And it has a 30-day window, and it's constantly moving. You know, 30-day window, and it'll tell you everything that's going on in the last 30 days. Now, to protect the innocent, it won't give you like 123 Elm Street. It'll say 100 block of Elm Street. Okay, so that kind of thing. So that's how they protect that, protect your home address. But very good website. There's another link attached to that. You can go back and it'll show you the month previous, months before that, you know, and in a text format that will give you information on all the crimes in a certain geographical area. So the city has that. The county has that for, you know, as well for those of you who live, you know, Copperfield or in Cypress or wherever it may be out, out of the city jurisdiction. You can look that up, very, very, very good stuff. And we get asked all the time, folks will call and say, hey, I'm about to move over to such and such, what's the crime like? Well, look it up, you know, and I'll give them the website and have them punch it in. Excuse me, and they can look and see what's actually going on. So I can't give you, because it's like HoustonTX dot something, dot, 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 about this long. But if you pull up the Houston Police Department, their website, there's a tab that'll say crime statistics, and it'll bring you right to you.
So are they 30-day-old statistics, or is it?
It's up to a day. It'll be a day. If something happened yesterday, it'll be tagged on, and it's a constant, you know, moving 30-day window. So, but yeah, it'll show something from happened yesterday or the day before. Yes, Sheriff does too. Thank you. Yes, sir.